voices are not for you, feel free to watch one of my other videos. Let's begin. In tonight's videos, we will be talking about the mysterious case of Amy Bradley, the 23-year-old who vanished from a cruise ship. In March 1998, Amy Lynn Bradley disappeared from the Rhapsody of the Seas on its way to Curaçao. 7 years later, her family received a disturbing photograph that seemed to reveal her fate. At around 5:30 a.m. on March 24, 1998, Ron Bradley glanced out at the balcony of his cabin aboard a Royal Caribbean cruise ship and saw that his daughter, Amy Lynn Bradley, was lounging peacefully. 30 minutes later, he looked again, and she was gone, never to be seen again. The easiest explanation for Amy Lynn Bradley's disappearance is that she fell overboard and was swallowed by the ocean waves. But Bradley was a strong swimmer and a trained lifeguard, and the ship was not far from shore. Indeed, her disappearance seems much more sinister than a case of someone lost at sea. Ever since Bradley vanished, there have been a series of disturbing sightings of her. In 2005, someone even sent her distressed family a gut-wrenching photograph that suggested she'd been trafficked into sexual slavery. This is the unsettling, unsolved mystery of Amy Lynn Bradley. A nightmarish end to a family vacation in the Caribbean. The Bradley family, Ron and Iva, and their adult children, Amy and Brad, boarded the Rhapsody of the Seas on March 21st, 1998 in Puerto Rico. Their voyage would take them from Puerto Rico to Curaçao in the Netherlands Antilles. On the night of March 23rd, the night before Amy Lynn Bradley vanished, the ship was docked just off the shore of Curaçao. At first glance, it was perfectly normal. It was a perfectly normal cruise ship night. Amy and her brother partied in the ship's club. They danced to a cruise ship band called Blue Orchid. Amy chatted with a few of the band members and danced with the bass player Yellow, aka Alistair Douglas. Around 1 a.m., the siblings called it a night. They returned to their family's cabin together. It would be the last time Brad ever saw his sister. The last thing that I ever said to Amy was "I love you" before I went to sleep that night, Brad later recalled. Knowing that's the last thing I said to her has always been very comforting to me. A few hours later, Ron Bradley saw his daughter on the deck frustration and fruitless search for Amy Lynn Bradley. As the Bradley family desperately searched for their daughter, the cruise ship staff remained unhelpful. The crew refused to page Bradley until the ship was at port. They didn't want to announce her disappearance or hang photos of her around the vessel because it might upset other passengers. Although the ship was searched, the crew only searched common areas, not staff and passenger cabins. It was possible, but seemingly unlikely, that Amy had fallen overboard. She was a strong swimmer and a trained lifeguard. No one could find evidence that she had fallen or was pushed, and there didn't seem to be any sign of a body in the water. The family turned their attention to the cruise ship staff. They believed that certain people on board had been giving their daughter special attention. We noticed immediately there was a tremendous amount of attention toward Amy from the crew members, Iva Bradley told Dr. Phil. At one point, Ron Bradley remembered one of the waiters asking for Amy's name, saying that they wanted to take her to Carlos and Charlie's restaurant during the ship's dock in Aruba. When he asked his daughter about it, Amy responded, "I wouldn't go and do anything with any of those crew members. They give me the creeps." This anecdote is even creepier given that Carlos and Charlie's restaurant is where Natalee Holloway, an 18-year-old American woman who disappeared in Aruba in 2005, was last seen. The Bradley family also heard from witnesses who had seen Amy early that morning of her disappearance. They had seen her with Alistair Douglas, aka Yellow, in the vicinity of the ship's dance club around 6 a.m. Yellow denied this. In the subsequent months, Amy's family would write congressmen, foreign officials, and the White House. Lacking any helpful responses, they hired private detectives, built a website, and started a 24-hour hotline. Nothing. My gut feeling to this day, said Iva Bradley, was somebody saw her, somebody wanted her, and somebody took her. Disturbing sightings of Amy Lynn Bradley deepened the mystery. The family's fears about Amy's disappearance were not unfounded. Although the initial investigation led nowhere, multiple people in the Caribbean have claimed to have seen their daughter over the years. In August 1998, 5 months after she went missing, 2 Canadian tourists spotted a woman who matched Amy's description on a beach. The woman even had the same tattoos as Amy: a Tasmanian devil with a basketball on her shoulder, a sun on her lower back, a Chinese symbol on her right ankle, and a lizard on her navel. One of the tourists, David Carmichael, says that he is 100% sure that it was Amy Lynn Bradley. In 1999, restroom in Barbados. According to the witnesses, the woman she met introduced herself as Amy from Virginia and was fighting with 2 or 3 men. And in 2005, the Bradleys received an email containing a photo of a woman who appeared to be Amy lying on a bed in her underwear. A member of an organization that locates sex trafficking victims on adult websites noticed the photos and thought it could be Amy. The woman in the photograph is identified as Jazz, a sex worker in the Caribbean. Unfortunately, this upsetting clue didn't generate any new leads. Today, the investigation into Amy Lynn Bradley's disappearance is ongoing. The FBI and the Bradley family have both offered sizable rewards for information on her whereabouts. However, for now, her disappearance remains a disturbing mystery.